the next shloka, the next sutra, which is the tada drashta swarupe avasthanam. Tada drashta swarupe avasthanam, which means that witness would be established in itself when the mind ceases. So yesterday we talked about that, what is the importance of ceasing your mind, what is the importance of stopping the fluctuations of your mind. So basically, fluctuations of mind is very natural. Mind is unstable force and entity. Mind cannot be tamed. Mind is the most unstable entity in the universe, even unstable than the wind. Wind, air is supposed to be most unstable. It keeps flowing. If air is not moving, it is not air. Okay, but mind is many times more unstable and mobile than the air. So how we can control it? No, we cannot control it forcibly. We just have to change. Like, let's say the air flows from the high pressure to the low pressure, right? As we have understood, we have studied the science and geography, so we know that air flows from high pressure to the low pressure. So we don't have to do anything with the air. What we do is we manipulate the pressure zones, right? And there are external influences which decides the pressure zones. So we work with those external methods and techniques which eventually is going to affect the mind and body, and energy and prana moving through the different points in our body, in our pranic body, which affects our physical body and mental body as well. And eventually we would be able to stabilize the mind. So what we will do, if there is a high pressure and a low pressure, the wind will keep flowing, no problem, don't worry about it. We are going to equalize the pressure zones so that the air will become stable, like a breeze, and then a very silent air which doesn't feel, which is pleasant. But that kind of breeze is needed. So I'm not saying that mind should cease. All I'm trying to say that we should be able to seize the unwanted, undesirable, useless fluctuations of mind which does nothing good to us but only makes us more stressed, agitated and sleepless. Okay, so that stress and anxiety and that confusion and conflict that we get because of too much of activity of mind. And stress management is altogether a different thing. Yoga has the best stress management practices. That's a technique part which I'm not going to explain here a lot, but structured practice of hatha yoga or any meditations would definitely help people to induce that state of relaxation. But practice is not just enough. People also have to simplify their life. If you live in a complex way, no technique would work. Actually, you would not be able to practice in the first place. So I've emphasized a lot, because coming from a traditional Indian schools of yoga, emphasis is the foundation is important. If you have a crazy life, if you have a crazy lifestyle, if you are all over the places, if you're trying too hard, if you're stuck with ambitions and too higher ambitions, a lot of materialistic pursuits, a lot of goals, then probably it's not worth to be on this path. And if you are having expectations that I'm going to awaken my chakras and I'm going to be evolved, no. First thing first, you have to make your life simple. You have to understand how to live. What is your need? What is your requirement? And what are you striving for? Okay, your vision. If we don't see, we cannot walk ahead. We are blind. We need to develop that vision of our life. That what is I want, where I want to reach. That question. That is why the philosophy does only one thing. Understanding of yoga philosophy does only one important, very important aspect to our understanding, our learning process, is to define who am I, where I am heading towards, why I am here, what is the purpose of my life. These are the 3-4 questions. Unless you are not through with these 3-4 questions, you cannot go ahead. Why? Because you can go ahead with a lot of techniques and methods, but those techniques and methods will not be useful. It would be futile. Why? Because techniques and methods work only if we stick to that, and we stick to that only if we have time for it, if we have a relaxed state of mind, if we are motivated, and if we are all over the places, if we are trying too hard. Our life is very complex. We are not able to manage, we are stressing out, then definitely we are not motivated. Because we are not sleeping well, we are not eating well, our digestion is slow, and at the same time we cannot commit to the practice. We practice 2 days and then we don't practice for 4 days, then we practice all of a sudden for the 7th day, then we practice for 4 days straight and then we miss it for 5th and 6th day. With this kind of a broken, interrupted kind of a practice is not going to yield any result, because there is no discipline, there is no continuity, there's interruptions and disruptions going on in our life. That is an important aspect. So when the mind starts getting stabilized by the holistic understanding and practice of yoga, then the act of witnessing happens. So basically, drishta means sakshi or the witness. Tada drishta swarupe avasthanam. Avasthanam means to be established. Then the witness is established in itself. When the useless, unwanted, undesirable fluctuations of the mind stops. And the mind is what it is. We can simplify it, we can relax it, we can control it, and we can still do all the activities of our life in balance. But when the activities are less, desires are less, activities are less, the mind is less activated and less used, it means more prana is there, state of relaxation is achieved.
Oh.